Greetings, fellow outsiders, and welcome back to Ghostpia Season 1. Today we're doing Episode 3, The Day We Found a Workplace to Work At. Let's go. Konnichiwa, amigos. I'm pretty sure those are the first words she shouts upon running into my room. By she, I mean Yoru, and by I mean me. For a long time, so long that nobody even knows how long, this town has had exactly 1,024 ghosts, and now we have a newcomer, Yoru, who's wandering about my room and looking at things curiously. Ah, that's pretty neat artwork. She keeps saying things like that. She seems interested in just about everything. Was that thing always there? And is that even an artwork in the first place? Oh, whatever. My ghost memory never has been reliable anyway. If I'm a ghost now... Oh, if I'm a ghost now, does that mean that I was once alive? Ghosts were alive at one point, right? I mean, that's what being dead implies, doesn't it? Or are we born as ghosts, stuck here forever? But for what purpose? She's so cute. I wake up to the sound of chaotic snoring. That sounds like a tank engine after someone tossed sugar cube into a gas tank. Actually, I don't think I slept enough to say I woke up. You can't wake up if you were never asleep. In the same way, you can't become a ghost if you don't die. Feels, it's been like this the whole time, even though it's almost morning. As a result, I'm tired all the time lately. Just a little bit earlier, I could sleep as much as I wanted whenever I got sleepy, so this change is taking a toll. Yoru isn't a bad person, or a ghost, in my opinion. She probably treats me with warm love, or something like that, but it's just a little suffocating for me. It's a little lonely to be completely isolated. Sometimes I want to see friends, but I feel more relaxed when I'm frozen in the cold, dark void. That's just my nature. She's an introvert. This current situation is clearly uncomfortable for me, but I don't think I can get Yoru to understand my plight. It's way too warm in my bed right now. There's a girl sleeping next to me, taking such deep breaths. My chest is in pain. But why? Let's try going to sleep again. I close my eyes. I think back to when we fled town and that 30-second birthday party in the present. The problem is what happened afterwards. When we woke up at the garbage dump, this is what Yoru said. So, where do I stay? My place is no good. It's dirty, small, and cold. You should stay in a more homey home like Passy's. Huh? Oh, that won't work. My home doubles as my workplace. You've got empty rooms, though, don't you? Oh, just because they're empty doesn't mean I don't need them. You piece of crap! Ow! Damn it! Ah, stop! Passiva stomps on Anya's face. Yoru looks curiously for a while before she turns around to look at me. Looks like I'm in a pickle, huh? She says just that. Her eyes pierce right through me. That's when I say something all too naturally, almost by reflex, and as if I had prepared a script beforehand. Why don't you stay at my place? Temporarily, I mean. Why did I say something like that? Even Anya and Passiva both seem surprised by my proactive suggestion. I don't even know what I meant when I said temporarily. I mean, Anya, Passiva, and are probably all thinking the same thing. What does temporarily even mean? I can't look it up in the dictionary because there's not one in this room. Besides, I've finally gotten sleepy. Temporarily means for a limited time. So in other words, once that time comes to pass, everything goes back to how it was. But how do I get that time to pass? I don't know. I'll discuss this with the others. I mutter that before I finally manage to start falling asleep. Not a very deep sleep, but it's still something you could call sleep. Sorry. But right before I fall asleep, I feel like I see and hear something like that. Not entirely sure, but this is what dreams are like, right? She's causing a lot of dreams lately. Now we got our smooth intro. I really like the animation style and the glitches in this. Not to mention, I'm just a fan of the kind of noise that comes along with, I don't know, is it like old-timey kind of TV static? I think it's cool. It's a cool effect. Yoru's a cutie. Look at all the adventures we're gonna have. Ghostpia Season 1. I kind of figured. That's too bad. In a corner of the plaza at the center of town, Anya kicks some snow on the side of the street, sending slivers of ice scattering as she says that. I called the girls here seeking advice. It's just Anya now, but Passiva should be here eventually too. Yeah, so, what do you think I should do? I blankly watch as Anya plays with the snow as I ask for her opinion. She looks up and answers. I figured that'd be the case, but personally, I don't know. What do you think, Teach? Hey, hold it right there. Whoa! You spooked me. I was trying to be sneaky. Why are you calling me Teach now? Nothing wrong with calling the Teach, right, Sayoko? Huh? Teach? So what do you need to discuss? Is that it? No, wait. Let's take this somewhere warmer. Good idea. How about over there? Sure, saves the trouble of walking since it's close. After a short delay, I follow their gazes to find some sort of establishment. A cafe, I guess? Cafe. When I mull over the world in my head, I suddenly feel my stomach sink. On the other side of the lit window, countless shadows of ghosts. Is that redundant? Make a commotion, signaling to me just how busy it is inside the cafe we're about to visit. A death sentence. Oh, don't worry. It's mostly just people like us inside. People who aren't all too interested in their surroundings. It's also cheap, and they don't complain if you stay too long. You get what you pay for with the coffee, though. A cheap flavor you just can't get at home. Pacifa urges me on, saying, let's go. Well, sure, it'd be rude to call someone for help, only to make them stand and talk out in the cold. We can't reach into my room since yours is probably still there, and it'd be shameless to ask to talk in Pacifa's house. Plus, I do think it's an experience I should give a chance to, so I can't find a valid reason to refuse. The sound of chatter in the cafe's background music gets closer and closer, though in reality, I'm the one getting closer to the sounds. Calm down. It's just a cafe. You've been in restaurants and shops and stuff before, right? Same thing. Pacifa and Anya rush into the noisy establishment. Oh, wow. Ow. Never seen this many ghosts before. The moment I pass the threshold, the chattering stops and the ghost falls silent. Let's leave. I tug on Pacifa's coat and manage to let out a whimper. I can't do it after all. Pacifa and Anya may be fine citizens, but I'm a burglar who raided the church. If they're seen here with me, it could cause them trouble. Oh, why? Sorry, could you move that chair for me? Thanks. Oh, yes, that's good. Thank you. Pacifa pushes her way through the crowd of ghosts. Anya follows behind. I follow too, reluctantly. We head all the way to the only empty table, a round table deep in the back by the bathroom. We sit down. 3 normal copies, please. Coming right up. At the sound of Pacifa's voice, the chatter resumes. The difference is shocking, but it also relaxes me a little. I'm sure everyone lost interest in us. I suppose we're not that interesting after all. I still can't let my guard down, though. Interesting. Sorry for the wait. Oh, look at this guy. I like him. His vibe. Here it comes. Oh, well, if it isn't Anya from the repair workshop, it's been 9,999 years, hasn't it, my lad? I'll murder you. Long time no see. Mr. Patel, how's business? I've been working from home a lot lately, so I haven't been able to patronize your establishment. It's fine, is what I'd like to say, but profit margins are thin with just coffee. Could I interest you in some sweets? That sounds good. Get something we can all share. I appreciate it. And last but not least, it's been a while since I've last seen you two, miss. I guess these two must be regulars here. But was I a regular too at one point? Hello. For now, I bow my head. I guess that was satisfactory for him since he turns around and skillfully weaves his way through the crowd of ghosts. Okay, I suppose we've settled in, so what do you want to talk about? Oh, should I get you up to speed? No, it's fine. I want to hear from Sayoko directly. Pacifa gracefully sips her coffee in a dignified manner. She then signals with her eyes for me to talk. She does kind of like to act like a teacher. And the smell of cheap coffee does make you think of a teacher's lounge. Really makes me think about where I came from. I'm sure if I were alone, I'd be thinking about that all the way until morning. But right now, there's more pressing matters. You just don't vibe with her. Sayoko, eventually you'll stop coming home and your family will collapse. Your children will stray off the righteous path. First they'll get addicted to drugs, and next thing you know, they're robbing trains. This isn't a joke, okay? They're taking this seriously, I think. They're just joking around to relieve some of the tension. So you two are living together, huh? That'd kill me. I agree. I'd say you seem more relaxed when you're all by yourself. Are all ninjas like lone wolves, or is that just you? How could you know, stupid? Ninjas keep their personality secret. That's what makes them cool, you know? You make a fine point, Anya, from the repair workshop, my lad. Oh, sorry, right. Why don't we take turns housing Yoru in our homes? I see, that might... No, that won't work. If it were me, it'd make me feel like I was being rented out on an installment plan. An installment plan? You got a point. It would be like telling someone they're a liability. Anya nods in agreement. I suppose she's got a point. I feel a little ashamed of myself. It's like in the back of my head, I'm hoping someone will take Yoru off my hands. I'd hate it if I were the one being treated like someone else's oversized trash. Okay, let's break down the problem. Little Anya here will take some notes. Aye, ma'am? Pacified takes a memo pad out of her pocket. You have a pen? Yep. Anya pulls out a pen, seemingly out of thin air. But stop calling me Little Anya. So, first things first, living together isn't working out for Sayoko. Okay, Sayoko loves living alone. And Yoru doesn't have a place to call her own. Let's see, Yoru has no home. These two issues are intertwined, but they are actually separate matters, aren't they? And if you solve one of them, the other will naturally disappear. Oh? I can't help but let out a voice of awe at the brilliance of her logic. Pretty sure I'm no good at this sort of logical thinking at all. It'd be nice if we could find an immediate solution, but that sounds so hard. Let's approach the problem by tackling both issues at the same time. We've got no choice but to find a home for Yoru. I'll look around and see if there's any good places. Thank you. I'm always relying on your help. It's okay. Now about the other issue. You mean Sayoko loves living alone? It's hard to deal with problems concerning someone's personal values, isn't it? That's not necessarily true. Say, Mr. Patel, what are you like when you're done with work?
Well, when I'm done with work, I can stop making this dreamy customer service smile without an issue, you see. Once I get home, I sleep. Nothing else. I don't even say a word.
Oh, my.
Yeah, some jerks tell me to get a hobby, but when you're up for so many hours thinking about things, you start to feel really crummy. I crawl inside my inner self. I converse with my inner self.
Thanks for your thoughts. That's quite enough, actually.
No, please, let me continue. When I close my eyes, there's a big pitch-black wall. I hear a voice calling for me, searching for me, but criticizing me? So I don't answer. No, I can't answer. As I said earlier, I don't even say a word.
Hey, where's he going with this?
I bear with it. I bear with it as I pray that I don't go mad. I keep praying until the sweet repose of sleep finally claims me.
It's me.
Before work today, I sat in my car and cried at the wheel for just 3 minutes. You girls should give it a try. Oh, and I'd really appreciate it if you realize that if I'm late opening up, on any given day, that's what I'm doing.
I see. I'll give it a try.
Please do. Anyway, here's an assortment of cookies for you. Enjoy yourselves!
So are all of these ghosts, including Sayoko, like having someone call from them from their dreams? This is really getting interesting. All right, a little while after Mr. Patel leaves, takes us a few moments of silence until we can ignore what just happened and move on. He needs medical help, preferably from someone patient and courteous. Enjoy yourselves almost sounded like a challenge. What were we talking about again? Work? Oh, we were talking about crying on the toilet to feel better, weren't we? No, look, Sayoko, you might be a bit of a special case, but typically most jobs aren't that bad. In fact, there's nothing better than to find a job that's perfect for you. Ah, you think so? When you come home after work a little tired, it changes your mood, and by earning money, you're likely to open up more opportunities. But I can just casually start working after all the chaos I caused? Nobody will try to kill me or anything? You just gotta kill them first. Good point. Astonishingly, I'm thinking pretty positively. Mr. Patel's despair, if that's the right word for it, has somehow given me a certain sort of courage. Not the same sort of courage I get when Pacified and Anya are with me, but it's still courage nonetheless. Yeah, I think I'll give it a shot. Does this town have a job search office or anything like that? Not that I know of, at least, but I guess that's more of Mrs. Pacifa's specialty here. Oh? What kind of work does Pacifa do anyway? Kind of obvious that Anya does, but Pacifa's job is an enigma. Must be something important if she lives in such a big house. Pacifa seems like she could do anything, but what does she actually do? True, that sort of work is indeed one of my specialties, so that should help. All right, let's give it our best, Sayoko. Okay. I should ask her now. Better than finding out later that I don't even know something as basic as that. Oh, Yoru! Let me help too! Whoa, you spooked me! Hey, where'd you come from? I was hiding in the filthy sludge of your coffee cup! Oh, she's good! Are you people okay? Perfectly okay. All I'm saying is that while I'm rooming with Sayoko, I'm just a freeloader with nothing to do. How much did Yoru hear? She probably just got here? Sayoko? Ooh. I get what Anya's trying to say. The reason for me getting a job would be to regain some personal space from Yoru. So it would defeat the point if she worked with me, wouldn't it? That's the point Anya's trying to make. Yeah, you could do something too. I hope we can both find a good place to work. Well, I only say that for my own sake. Yoru expressing a desire to work could imply a desire for independence. I just can't get in the way of that. In fact, I think I should be supportive of her. You sure? I'm sure. Whatever could you mean? I'm not that cruel. Okay, yeah, I think I was kind of cruel back at the church earlier, but you know what I mean. I get the feeling Yoru would be quite good at handling interviews. Way better than me anyways. I feel like some sort of coarseness in my chest. Very well, a job for one and a job for two aren't that much different. I'll set you up before the day is gone. So it'll be like a piece of coffee cake for you then. I suppose. Hey, is she like that at home too? Yeah. I feel for you. Yoru says something completely unrelated to the topic at hand, taking Pacifa and Anya aback, but they keep trying to keep a conversation going. Find myself at my wit's end. It's not like I'm feeling left out or anything, it's just that this sort of banter takes me back. As my consciousness starts to drift, I look outside the window. There's a good view of the plaza, including the towering missile in the middle of it. Maybe it's like a gigantic gravestone. The names of 1,024 ghosts are etched upon that missile, the husk of a weapon of mass destruction that failed to carry out its mission. From where I'm seated, I can't see the part that has my name on it. Lo says, okay, I know you. You're the ninja girl. We even live in the same apartment complex. Pacifa said she'd set us up before the day is done. I thought she meant she'd get us in touch with some contacts or something, but she even set us up as a same-day interview. She's truly amazing. Is that so? Our prospective workplace is a cosplay shop on the outskirts of town. We're in the back room of that shop right now. The employee interviewing us is a girl with a somewhat husky voice. She seems kind of punkish, so I was really nervous at first. But she has a very gentle, somewhat familiar way of talking, which is kind of relaxing. Yeah, I haven't seen you around lately, though. You've been staying away from home or something? Anyway, you on the other hand, I don't know your name. My name's Yoru. I got it as a birthday present. Yeah, I see. As a present, huh? Good for you. My name's Lauren. You can call me Lo. Yep, sure is good. Thanks, Lo. Lauren, or rather Lo, gets up from her seat. Now then, let's see. First, I'll explain to you two how we bring in newly arrived stock and dispose of unsold stock. Yes, ma'am. Yoru follows Lo's lead and gets up. I get up as well, and then a bell rings. Now that I think about it, that must mean the store door opened. It made the same sound when we came in after all. Ah, looks like we got a customer for once. Yoru, go greet them or something. I am! Lo beckons me deeper into the shop. Are you sure about this? Yeah, it's fine, it's fine. Much more fun to teach new recruits than it is to deal with customers. Lo peers into my brown eyes with her fair eyes. I can feel my heart throbbing, for various reasons. Wouldn't you agree? Her slightly husky voice really matches her fashion sense. I think it's fitting and beautiful. I wonder how I can become more like her. I agree, I totally agree. In any case, there's no way I could disagree with her. Let's see. First of all, that box over there is the newly arrived stock. Okay. And that box over there is unsold stock to be disposed of. You with me so far? No, question. Go ahead, ask away. They're both empty, aren't they? Yeah, I guess we rarely do receive new stock or dispose of unsold stock, so. Huh? Actually, now that you mention it, when was the last time we had either of those things? Maybe like 9,999 years ago? Yes?
Is Yoru doing something?
Sorry, can I, ask another question? Are you sure the shop needs more workers? I can hear a low gasp in realization. She closes her eyes and takes a deep breath and speaks slowly. Yeah, honestly, you're right. Business is slow here. Gotten plenty of downtime just working by myself. Then what do we do for work? Sorry, well, the manager seemed kind of frantic. Oh, sorry, never mind that. I guess you can, like, clean and stuff? Okay. Things get kind of awkward after that, so we both fall quiet. I think Lo's trying to come up with some sort of work the two of us can do, but the fact that she's not saying anything probably means that she can't think of anything. Wonder what that customer's doing. Oh, right, sorry. I don't know what to say, so I just nod vaguely. Thank you!
Right as Lo as I get back to the storefront, Yoru lets out a cheer loud enough to drown out even the store's loud background music.
What, you actually sold something? No way! It's been ages since our last sale.
Surprised, of course, but Lo is even more surprised. Is this store really that unpopular?
What did you sell? It must have been like that frilly thing, right? No, it was the automatic rifle and the bulletproof vest. I said, you look marvelous with them, and the customer just bought them. I see. Well, I guess it's finally time we get some new stock. So, does it seem like it'll be tough working here?
She actually said she realized that she's fully staffed already. I feel a little uncomfortable as I say that. I'm sure Yoru is quite employable as a customer service worker.
I see. That's too bad. See you again sometime. Yeah, I'm really sorry about that. Feel free to stop by my room sometime, you two.
But it looks like neither Yoru nor Lo seems to mind, so I guess it's all okay in the end.
Be sure to turn the heater on. Yeah, I'll put it on full blast.
Should I say something?
And play some good music too.
I just don't want to say something and have it turn out weird. I don't want to seem like I'm trying to avoid Yoru or anything, though on second thought, I kind of am. But not in a bad way. I have the capability to convey such a nuanced thought.
I can play a little piano, so I'll practice. I'd like to hear some stories from you two, too.
I don't know, Lo herself is considering hiring Yoru for a customer service job, but it seems that she won't explain why she doesn't because of how obvious the reason is. Then again, they're both so kind that they probably explain it to me no matter how obvious it's supposed to be. So, should I ask? No, maybe not.
Alright, let's make it a night to remember. Bye!
Sorry, we couldn't help. Thank you for your time. I conclude that these two have way better judgment than I do, so it doesn't make a difference whether I say anything or not. Just making excuses, huh?
I'm sorry.
I didn't mean to say those words out loud, but Yoru picks them up anyway. About what?
I just feel like I've wronged you in some way, Sayoko, but I'm kind of sad since I don't know what it is.
He's being just a little bit too conscientious. You didn't do anything wrong, Yoru. It's getting late. There's nobody else on the street but us.
I'll do my best.
Our conversation isn't quite lining up, and neither are our footsteps. That doesn't stop even as we approach the plaza. I'm walking ahead of Yoru, but my slow pace slows down even more, and Yoru overtakes me. I stop in place. I look at a certain something. Huh? What's wrong? I set up the pace and catch up to Yoru. Oh, nothing. The thing I was looking at, the missile, is missing Yoru's name. I'm a little bit jealous, but I feel like something's a bit off about it. We keep walking back on the way home, and as we walk, I think to myself, what would she want? Maybe I can just give the place to her. That's an option. You there, Sayoko? Yoru speaks up without turning around. I'm here. You can hear my footsteps, can't you?
Please stay with me, okay?
My chest is in pain, but the air I breathe is so clean I feel both painful and cleansed. All in all, I feel satisfied. If only I could go to sleep and just die right now. But that's impossible. I can't die if I'm not even alive. I'll try. There's no real meaning to this conversation. There's no real meaning to us either, I'm sure. Just meaningless ghosts walking around a ghost town near the break of dawn. We're almost home. Nice! That looks great on you. You're meant for this job! Despite what Passive is saying, it's obvious that this outfit would look the same on anyone, no matter who's wearing it. She said she'd look for a job that's always short-staffed at this time, and this is the end result. Salvaging, searching the garbage heap for usable objects. Yoru and I are dressed in baggy yellow protective suits as we board the salvage truck. I silently curse these protective suits for being so hard to move in. The three other salvagers are all somewhat buff men. We're wearing their spare suits, which is why they don't fit. They keep bowing to Pacifa. Pacifa really is amazing at what she does. Not sure what exactly it is, but she does it well. We're sectioned off in the back of the truck, with all the men sitting at the front on a bench seat. Nobody says a word. I can more or less see the backs of the men's head through the window, but they're not even moving a muscle. They seem quite polite with the influential Pacifa, but I get the feeling that they'll be strict with newcomers like us. Suddenly, Yoru speaks up.
Excuse me, can I ask a question?
What? If you want us to explain, we can do it when we're there.
Where does this bus go?
Where does this bus go, you say? Things get awkward real quick. It's the awkward calm before the storm.
You see, she's,
That's so funny. Did you hear what she said? I heard. Where does this bus go? That's hilarious. Good one.
Well, you know, pleasure to work with you today.
Yeah, no problem. We'll make splendid scrappers out of you. You mean super scavengers, right? Our official title is officially licensed garbage collectors. That's so boring.
Okie dokie, artichoke. We'll be some real scrappy scrappers.
You sure are a hoot. I can do nothing but watch as the scene unfolds in front of me. Actually, I'm not even sure I can do that. She's just too dazzling. She's amazing. Simply amazing. Not sure what's going on, but it's clear that they're all enjoying themselves. After some banter, we arrive at the place that's quite memorable to me in a certain sense. The truck parks by the fence surrounding the giant garbage dump on the outskirts of town. Baskets! I blink a few times before I realize what the man means. He's referring to the baskets made out of aluminum or some other metal that were loaded into the back of the truck with us. Okay. Yoru and I take the baskets as we hop out of the back of the truck. I'm already starting to get tired of the baggy suit's lack of mobility. If we end up sticking with this job, I hope the first thing we do is get properly fitting suits. As I think that to myself, I tumble and let out a weird yelp. Are you okay, ninja girl? I'm okay. Thanks to that little tumble, I snap back to my senses. Do we need these suits? It's kind of hard to move in them. Yeah, but... These are to protect against weird chemicals or radiation or something, right? But none of that really matters since I'm a ghost after all. It'll still hurt, you know, and that still kind of sucks to die, even if you know you'll come back to life, doesn't it? Come back to life? Well, I'm not sure that's the right phrase. We're not alive to begin with. I mean, we're ghosts. So it's weird to say we'll come back to life. Well, you've got a point, but this suit is too baggy for me to move around in, so it'll be hard to work in it. So do I have to wear it? I mean, I've been here in normal clothes before and nothing's happened to me. I'm sure they're just being overly cautious. In that case, I'll take mine off too. Whoa.
This is what it means to be a man!
Whoa! Well, miss, if you insist, then that's perfectly fine. Do the work you want the way you wanna. That's just how life is. I guess we can agree there. In other words, when life deals you cards, you gotta... Sorry, just be careful.
Yes, sir.
Work is just about what I expected. With basket and tongs in hand, we fish around the garbage for anything that seems useful. The garbage is piled up haphazardly, but nothing feels dirty, nothing's rotten, and there's not much of a smell. I'm starting to think that maybe this town doesn't even have the bacteria and stuff necessary for rot to form. After all, this town only has ghosts in it, and then this garbage heap only has the things that aren't living. This is where all the town's resources originate from, and this is where the town's resources eventually return. One of the men instructs me to search for electrical appliances. My instincts somehow tell me that there's no good finds in my current location, so I distance myself from Yoru and the men who are searching through the garbage with a set parameter. It's not because I can't handle hearing Yoru chatting and laughing with the men, at least I don't think it is. Suddenly I notice a car with windshields at my feet. Oh yeah, what about that car? Do things lost outside of the town come back here too? Did that car get buried somewhere in the garbage pile after it exploded? If so, did it come back as individual parts or as a whole car? If it came back as parts, then maybe the windshield belongs to it. So I think that to myself, I noticed there's a microwave oven caught underneath the windshield. Wonder why I didn't notice that earlier. I lift up the windshield and I hurl it somewhere. I hear the sound of glass shattering. I found a microwave! I rush back to the scavengers to report my find. It's my first big find of the day.
Oh, is that sound you, Sayoko?
Yeah, the microwave was shielded by a windshield, so I threw it into the wind. I fail at forcing a laugh, so it comes out more like a spasm. The men try to say something, but it looks like they're speechless, but I can't help but groan. I'm just not good with this kind of stuff. I feel like I felt this way before, several times even. Have I never tried to improve, or am I just unable to? I feel like it's too late for me to even know at this point. Once the truck is filled with buckets of garbage, or rather I suppose I should call them resources now, make several stops outside the outskirts of town, scavenger offices and workshops, I assume. Today was the best. Thanks, miss.
Oh, you're welcome.
So what do you say, you two? You want to work with us? It's tough work, but we're happy to have you on board if you want. Sorry, but I don't think I'm cut out for this. My apologies. Thank you for your time. I see. Feels like they already knew what my answer would be, but they had to pretend they didn't. They have to uphold a pre-established harmony, I suppose. So what about you, miss? Join us! We can play I Spy as we collect garbage. Hey, cut it out. It's her decision. I'm a little nervous. I'm sure Yoru's all for it. If she joins them, that means our relationship will change, which is what I thought I wanted, but now I'm not so sure. I take a deep breath and I look at Yoru from the side.
If Sayoko's not in, then neither am I.
Yoru? I have to say something. I want to object. I want to tell her that she's making the wrong decision.
I'm sorry.
Yoru apologizes, but for what? Why? I just don't know. I don't understand. Are you sure? Yeah, I agree. Are you sure? Pipe down, you.
Sorry, but I've made up my mind. I'll come to visit. Be sure to turn the heater on.
And with that, Yoru starts walking. She then grabs my wrist and with that, Yoru starts walking. She grabs my wrist with surprising force coming from her slender arm. I managed to keep up with her despite stumbling a bit.
Sayoko, the night's still young, so why don't we go visit Mrs. Pacifica's house? We need to report to her after all. I nod my head vaguely, perhaps because I'm considering suggesting one more time that Yoru could work there, but I'm sure she has no intention of doing that, so there's no point in saying anything about it. You were so good at that job. You looked like you were having so much fun. So why did you reject their offer? I just don't get it. I end up saying something vague instead. We should apologize to Pacifica when we see her, huh? I guess so.
In the end, I don't say what I wanted. I see. I'm in Pacifica's good old living room again, facing her the same way a certain nun did once before. I'm sorry for wasting time I'm sorry for the time you spent searching for that job. I bow my head, so does Yoru.
Sorry. It's fine, it's fine. The cosplay shop was kind of shady and nobody wants to do garbage collection anyway. And those men are kind of dumb too. I can speak for Yoru, but I can't say I see you doing that sort of work, Sayoko. When I look up, I see Pacifa's gentle smile. Thank goodness, she's not mad. She's perfectly calm. I'd probably be mad if I were in her shoes. Still feel sorry, though. True. I just thought you'd have a plethora of options if we use my connections. Looked like this will be harder than I expected. Alright, once again. What exactly does Pacifa do? I want to ask that, but there's no way I can. But how can you not expect me not to want to ask? I start to debate myself, but I stay silent in the end. There's no point in forcing yourself to do a job that you'll quit immediately. I think manual labor only shows its true advantages if you're employed in the long term. Just take your time searching. I'm so glad to have your help. You are too, right, Sayoko? Huh? Yeah, glad to have your help. Sorry for the trouble. We're friends, aren't we, Sayoko? I hear the front door start to open. It's probably Anya. Pacifa said she'd be here later. Anya said she'd try to find us work using her own personal connections, but she also said my networking is poop compared to Pacifa's, so don't expect much. She said before promising that she'd keep us in the poop. I mean, loop. Oh, is Anya coming too? As I grin for the stupidest reason ever, Yoru speaks up to me. I nod vaguely in reply. Anya's as hard a worker as anyone else, so she should have connections of her own. But I suppose anyone's connections would look like poop compared to Pacifa's. Let's splash some hot water on her as a penalty for being late. Yay! She's kind of scary when you think about her like that. Pacifa hands Yoru a kettle full to the brim with hot water as she gleefully waits by the door. What if she's got a dreadful side to her that I don't know about? Wait, I guess it's obvious she does have a dreadful side to her, but what truly dreadful is not knowing what it is? When I do come to know that side of Pacifa, I will be able to keep loving her the way I do. What if I told her all of this? I can only imagine the worst. I don't want her to hate me. After all, regardless of the path that brought us here, she's the one who reintroduced me to the outside world like this. Maybe I should discreetly ask Anya once she's here. I'm sure she'd be better than asking Pacifa herself. As soon as I make up my mind, the living room door opens loudly and... Don't move! A man shouts coldly as he barges in the room, tearing the casual mood to shreds. In his hands is a high-caliber pistol big enough to be used as a blunt weapon. All of us freeze and fall silent. Hey, Mort. The only people who come to visit my office without an appointment are top priority clients and my friends. And I don't have any top priority clients yet, so that means only my friends can visit unannounced, and you're not my friend. Please set up an appointment by phone and come again. You shitty! You ruined a once-in-a-millennium business opportunity! How dare you! How dare you make that face at me! Please, don't get the wrong idea. I only did my job. It's the truth that you cut corners, isn't it? If you came here to bark at me, you're barking up the wrong tree. Damn you! Now put that dangerous thing down before you regret it. What? Do you have any idea the situation you're in? Wow, so cool. I'd zoned out due to the surprise, but Yoru's ambiguous murmuring snaps me back to reality. We're up against one man. He must be tired holding up that gun or something since his hands are trembling. I don't think he's used to wielding a gun. In any case, judging by his stout, protruding belly, he probably can't move very quickly. I don't want that grand person to beat me. I've done everything I could to win, but then you had to butt in and ruin everything. You're the one who leaked everything to the company, weren't you? That's right. I did my job. My hands are clean. How dare you say that when you've been using your position to line your own damn pockets with such outrageous margins? Everything will be fine. I can take this guy. The situation itself isn't good, but I'm happy at the possibility that I can be useful to Pacifa. So what do you want me to do? I want you to die. What's the point? I'll just come back, you know? Do you have the brain of a child, Mort? Pacifa's voice is cold enough to freeze the steam this man's been spouting. I can at least make you writhe in pain by filling you with lead. There's plenty of time to regain your company's trust. We've all got eternity, actually. Are you unable to make a rational decision? Shut up! Shut the hell up! Who gives a damn about your logic? How can you possibly know how I feel? The man's voice gets slightly teary. On the other hand, Pacifa's stance gets firmer and firmer, so much that I'm wondering if she can even see the gun in the man's hand. Oh, is that so? I understand. Allow me to make it up to you. Suddenly, Pacifa softens the tension in her voice. The man mumbles, but ends up not speaking. Seems like Pacifa intends to resolve this problem with money. I send her a look as she says, "There's no need to do that." Pacifa picks up my signal, but she responds with a wink that I'm not clever enough to decipher. Pacifa picks up the pouch that was left on the table and starts rummaging through it. She then takes out a small tube. It's probably lipstick.
If you're gonna pay out, then do it in cash. I'm done playing your games.
Oh, that's too bad. Something shines in Pacifa's hand, and at the same time,
A dry bang rings out.
the man's gun hits the floor with a thunk, and then he falls to the floor, holding his shoulder. I'm all out of cash, but I've got plenty of lead.
She's a badass. It's only then when Pacifa says those words that I realize that the lipstick in her hand is actually a teeny tiny gun in disguise.
If you'd like a second payment of lead, then by all means, come and take it.
Pacifa calmly asserts. As she picks up the gun, the man drops and points it back at him. The gun looks too big for Pacifa's slender arm, but for some reason it looks more deadly than when the man was holding it. The man mumbles and groans, but no intelligible words come out. He must be in too much pain to speak. I can't hear you. Pacifa kicks the groaning man. Specifically, she kicks his gunshot wound. Instead of screaming, the man's body twitches and convulses. His body is collapsed face up. After losing consciousness for a few seconds, the man tearfully pleads with Pacifa. Mercy, please have mercy. It hurts, it hurts.
Get lost now, and I'll be sure to tell your little friends exactly what happened here, you hear me?
Okay, I promise.
Pacifa takes a step towards the man. It looks like the bullet still lodged into his shoulder. The man squirms to get some distance, perhaps having recalled the pain of being kicked in the gunshot wound moments earlier. Know your place, shithead. And with those final words, Pacifa shoves the sole of her boot as far into the man's rear as physically possible. The man scuttles away surprisingly quick, as if borrowing the man's momentum from the kick. Phew!
I look at Yoru beside me. I kind of expected it, but her eyes are sparkling even more than I'd imagined as she rushes up to Pacifa and hugs her.
That was amazing! Say that line again! Hasta la vista, baby!
I didn't say that.
Yo, what'd I miss?
Anya suddenly pops through the door and that the man left wide open.
Looks like things got kind of weird here. That what's his face? Guy was here, wasn't he? You saw him leave, didn't you? I've already taken care of him. Oh, and that thing worked like a charm. I've got to order a dozen. I quite like that sort of thing. Seriously? Quite proud of my handiwork with that one. Wish I could improve the shell ejection though. I know it can't work exactly like in the movies, but still. What does Miss Pacifa do exactly?
Yoru whispers in my ear. I feel ever so slightly relieved to know that she's been wondering the exact same thing as me. I'm not sure, but she's probably some sort of agent.
An agent? Of what?
Something. I don't know. Once that non-committal word leaves my lips, I realize I sound just like Yoru. It's kind of embarrassing.
So how'd the new job go? Looks like it wasn't a good match. You got any leads? Nope, nothing. Sorry. I tried looking everywhere, but everywhere that I looked, places were neither understaffed nor overstaffed, just staffed.
I see.
Really sorry. No, I'm not blaming you or anything. I just think it's interesting. I know what you mean. This town just seems like a perfectly put-together machine, meant exactly for the number of people in it. Maybe this town's just optimized that way since it's always had the same number of people.
1,024. That's the ghost town's ghost population. With the addition of Yoru, that's 1,025. Of those 1,025 ghosts, 1,023 are employed. Yoru and I are the only ones left out.
Oh, but I did borrow that lemonade stand.
Can a lemonade stand even make money in this cold-ass hell town?
Are you insane?
You didn't catch Clara, stupid, did you? Anya mumbles the story about how she originally made that lemonade stand as a setup for a play, but it's perfectly functional.
Sorry, I guess it's not as useful after all. Maybe I did catch Clara's stupid. Coffee, please!
And with that, she throws herself onto the sofa. I'm sorry. I didn't say that out loud, but I apologize again in the silence of my heart.
Okay. Would you two like some more as well?
Yes, please! Hip hip caffeine! I'm not entirely sure what I'm apologizing for. I feel a vague sense of guilt, and it's not something I can solve by raiding the church again. I was powerless.
No trip to Pacifica's house is complete without a cup of Pacifica's house blend coffee.
These two have a proper role in this town community. They seem so important. Wait, when was my role before I came a shut-in?
Well, in the worst case... Pacifica comes back from the kitchen after boiling some water and walks up to me with 2 cups in hand. You can be my bodyguard. Being an agent is dangerous work, but with a ninja around, ruffians like that one should think twice before they show their faces, so... Okay. Relax. No need to make that face.
Pacific gently pinches my cheek with her fair, soft hand. Was I making that bad of a face? I guess so. But why? I'm flustered. I want to rebuke myself for taking advantage of people's kindness like this all the time. I have nothing to offer.
A bodyguard, I see. Never thought of that. Milk her dry, Sayoko.
That's why, even if I become Pacifica's bodyguard, I'll never feel useful. No matter how many enemies I take down, doesn't change the fact that I'd still be taking advantage of her kindness.
Oh, we forgot to splash Anya with hot water. It's not too late, you know. I'm not sure what you're talking about, but please forget about it for the rest of eternity.
I've got a suggestion for Yoru when we get home. If she's receptive to the suggestion, I'll discuss things further with her, as much as possible. That way, I'm sure even I'll be tired enough to fall asleep without having to worry about her snoring. I think to myself as I watch Yoru brandishing the kettle.
We'll work for money. We'll work!
As soon as I gave Yoru my suggestion, she energetically said, sounds good, in less than what I think is a second. We just can't take advantage of Pacifica's help forever, so let's do some job hunting of our own. That was the main point of my suggestion. Yoru said, if we're gonna do it, we've gotta do it good. And then she made these cardboard sandwich signs. No idea where she got the cardboard. I hid my astonishment at her craftsmanship. In my mind, I was applauding her. But her snoring is still way too loud. Her raw energy, both awake and asleep, is grating on the ears, which is why I don't praise her out loud. I don't know how many hours we spent with those signs in hand. I figured that having something to do would serve as a good distraction, but in actuality, the cold, the fatigue, and the shame are just wearing down on my mind. But I honestly believe that this is what I can and should be doing right now. So we do this today, and the next day, and the next day, and the next day. We keep standing and barking all around town.
The end is near! Nuclear war! Buy gold!
I love Yoru. Seems like Yoru has had enough. I'm nearing the end of my rope too. The town's workforce really must be saturated. Would anyone actually give work to job searchers with sandwich signs when every position's already filled? I just want to throw myself onto the snow and give up. That's when somebody calls out to us. Oh, Armageddon's coming, huh? You're always living on the edge, Yoru. Guess he's not calling out to us exactly. Just Yoru. And this isn't the first time someone's called out to her. While I've been aimlessly wearing the sandwich sign, Yoru's been making acquaintances one by one, gradually assimilating into the town.
Oh, Mr. Patel, how are you?
Thanks for your help the other day. I feel a little better now. Not completely healed, but better. Thank you so much. Come visit the cafe again.
You should hire us.
Sorry, we've got enough workers as it is.
I see. Well, be sure to tell us if there's ever an opening.
Yeah, when the time comes. See you later. What happened the other day? I asked Yoru and I watched Mr. Patel leave.
I listened to him talk about his issues. I don't understand what he was saying, but I just nodded and said, yeah, to everything, and he seemed happy, so I guess it's all good. Is it, though? I'm sure he just wanted some validation from someone.
Validation?
Well, someone to tell you that it's all right, you know?
Is it really, though?
Either way, he's doing his best, I think.
You think so?
Well, he looked happy, so I want to believe in him.
As she says that, Yoru smiles ambiguously. Or maybe it's only ambiguous because I'm too dumb to understand it. But what I do understand is that her smile is awfully beautiful. It's so beautiful, I'm jealous. Almost resentful, even. She's got such a beautiful smile. I'm sure she'll be able to find work. Unlike me. What? Oh, nothing. I'm gonna go over to that street. You stay at the plaza?
As you command, my liege!
I totter over towards the back streets. It's not somewhere you'd expect someone to be looking for work to go. I just want to be alone. I thought walking would cheer me up, but the more I walk, the more tired I become, so it looks like I'm playing a losing game. I remember a day long ago when I waited for the bus in the rain.
I remember waiting 20 minutes for a bus that came every 30, and I was fed up with waiting. I ended up taking the train home. Even though I knew the bus would be there in less than 10 minutes, I spent 15 minutes walking from the bus stop to the station to catch a train. By the time I realized I had wasted the effort of waiting 20 minutes, I had already been walking for quite some distance. I suppose I was just tired of staying in one place. I didn't know what I was doing, so I just ended up doing something. Feels disgusting not to understand yourself. Feels somewhat like how I felt that day. Whoa. As I turn the corner, I bump into someone. You were at the church. I recognize who it is. That's right. It's a man who stopped me by the entrance when I stuck into the church. I bribed him with the mints and then killed him. Hey, is that the ninja? Behind the man are 5 similarly dressed men. His friends, I suppose. Yeah, that's right. I see the men reach inside their coats, either for concealed guns or bladed weapons. Leave me alone! I asked to be left alone, but I have to admit I'm a little glad that a stress-relieving distraction has decided to waltz up to me. Lonely violence. Let some steam out and get paid for it. And an achievement. When I come back home with a broken sign and a little bit of cash, I'm greeted by Yoru and some unfamiliar furniture. Where'd you get all this? Welcome home. I was given these. You were given them? Yep, I got some food too. Some people said, I can't employ you both, but I can give you this instead. Some people said that they could employ one of us, but I guess it's hard to find anyone willing to employ us both. I see. Those misers, am I right? This is the difference between me and Yoru. Yoru's gained the goodwill of many, and even they can't employ both of us. They can still help feel fulfilled. Meanwhile, I killed someone I've killed before, and then I killed his friends, and I robbed their bodies. Oh well, if nobody will hire us, let's just start our own business, Sayoko. The Ninja Delivery Service. How about it? It's a service where ninjas deliver things, like, something. You don't need to stick around me anymore. Huh? I'm sure you can find plenty of jobs for yourself, Yoru. Lots of people love you, and as long as you're not with me, they'll gladly employ you. But there's no point unless I'm with you, Sayoko. Yoru looks confused and somewhat angry. I've never seen her make a face like that before, but I can't back down. Look, there's nothing I'm good at besides hurting others. That's probably the one and only thing I'm better at than you at. There's work for you, but there's none for me. It's the truth that you're great, so what's the problem? But it won't do. I can't do it. I can do it, and it will. It can do, and it... There's so many words. My brain. It can do, and it will. I don't feel so miserable. I don't want to hate you, so please. I should leave, shouldn't I? If possible. Sayoko. What is it? Nothing, it's just I got a live-in job offer, for one. So I'm gonna go do that. That'd be for the best. Thanks for having me. No problem. That said, it's getting late, so the two of us sleep in the same bed tonight. I guess ending a relationship is more sluggish process than what you see on TV. Yoru unexpectedly sleeps quietly, neither snoring nor stirring. See, you can do it after all. After becoming the worst woman in the world, I mutter to myself as I feel her warmth in bed. Aww. I want them to stay friends, though. Alright, thanks for having me. You're welcome. Kathunk? The door shuts. Didn't seem to shut in slow motion, and the sound of it shutting doesn't sound particularly sad either. Feels like a relief, actually. I guess I really am a cold woman after all. May have only been for a short while, but Yoru and I ate together and slept together, and yet I feel nothing now that she's gone. Space out for a few seconds, and then... Maybe I should have at least walked her out. I whisper an idea that comes way too late, but it feels like I'm lying to myself. If I walked her out and waved until she faded into the distance, it'd be so sad to look at her footsteps in the snow. At the very least, it'd be weird for me to do that when I'm the one who kicked her out.
It'd be almost hypocritical, like I'm hiding my true feelings or something. My true feelings. That's right. I wanted Yoru to leave. It's not like I particularly enjoyed how I lived before Yoru moved in, but it's way better than living with someone who's loud all the time. After being in the negatives, I just wanted to return to zero. Now that Yoru's gone, my life is back to zero. For some reason, I feel like I need to find a job, but I don't really need to. In short, the end goal was to get her out of my room, and now she has. The end. I didn't kick her out buck naked. I kicked her out after she had found herself a job and a new place to live. Sure, I'll see her again in the town eventually. We might even drink coffee together at Mr. Patel's again. Maybe Yoru would vent about work. Maybe Pacifa and Anya will be there too and sympathize with her. And maybe the three of them will laugh. Maybe I'll even join in and laugh too. I imagine a future like that. Yep, we've settled everything peacefully. Congratulations, you've reached the most optimal solution. I'm sure it is. Probably is. Yes, yes. I close my eyes and I nod my head, trying to give myself validation. Yes. Yep. Yes. Yes. I repeat nodding. The nodding of my head makes me want to go lie down for a bit. Yeah, you should go sleep. Maybe that'll cheer me up a little. That's right. Once I cheer up, I can go talk to Pacifa and Anya. Yes. Yes. My eyes snap open when the doorbell rings. I'm already up on my feet before I know it. Yoru? Feel irritated even as I reach out for the doorknob and open the door. Exactly. Ugh. Exactly what? Exactly. Standing there is the elderly man from the way back when, which, as I expected, is exactly the opposite of exactly what I expected. I can barely remember things about Pacifa, Anya, and even myself, and yet I quickly remember this elderly man. I know it's due to recency bias, but it still stings. I'm here to apply for the position of roommate. He smells like dirt, sweat, and a tinge of excrement. I furrow my eyebrows in the sudden affront of my lungs. Simply put, I heard there was an opening in this room. It's dangerous for a girlie to be living all by her lonesome, so I'll move in to help you. No thanks. It's clear that he's not in his right mind. Plus, he's got a knack at getting under my skin. Luckily, he doesn't seem to realize it himself. What's the matter? You hate strong men or something? From what I reckon, handsome old men get tax benefits. Act now and I'll throw in one of those cricket things. He pulls out some weird giant spatula-looking thing out of his pocket and starts swinging it around, only for it to slip out of his hands. I see it fly towards the stairs out of the corner of my eyes. I originally live by myself, so I don't need a roommate. I need to drive him away quickly before this becomes another bad experience. I've had enough of those. I know that, of course. The elderly man suddenly softens his speech. I knew you were all by your lonesome this whole time, little missy. And I know you're no longer alone anymore. You changed, for good. There ain't no going back to how you were, little missy. Now that you know about the holes in your heart, you can't no longer exist by your lonesome. The elderly man speaks matter-of-factly as he strokes his beard. He accurately describes my current situation objectively and without emotion. He reminds me of one of my college professors. I wonder how he's doing. Wait, have I even gone to college? Ooh. You think you're like me, little missy? Your holes are my holes, and I've come to fill your hole. No? Holes? You mean no. Yes, sirree. Your hole. He suddenly shouts and makes an exaggerated gesture as he continues. Oh my god, wait, is this just like a badly worded thing, or is he thinking what is the bad thing? Is he thinking the bad thing? Fine metaphor, if I do say myself, and I didn't prepare no script, but then them's fine words, if I do say so myself. We are holes crudely dug out and crudely filled back up. We are holes. A crudely filled hole looks good, but it ain't the real thing, and it ain't got much of a purpose, but either way, it's still here. Holes. Well, sure enough, I do feel like some holes have been poked into me. I admit I do feel pretty hurt. Even if getting filled back up didn't fix everything, still a relief just to exist, ain't it? I understand, yeah, little missy. The two of us ain't that different after all. I'm very, very afraid right now, and the truth is, it'd be really reassuring if Yoru was by my side.
Why did I open up my big mouth and drive her away? Wait, no, all I did was pout a bit. Honestly, was that enough to make her leave? Damn it, that Ingrid? Shit! I'll give her a piece of my mind. No, I don't mean that. I don't mean that at all.
You really don't remember where you came from, little missy. That's another hole.
Please don't leave me by myself.
In other words, the only thing that can fill your holes is someone else with holes like me. That way, I can fill my own holes too. Stop! Being a loner is my style. Then I should at least repent and ask for forgiveness. Can you get yourself ready to see her again?
I quickly back away when I realize the elderly man's grabbing my shoulder. I thought I'd shake him off, but his grip is stronger than I expected, so I just end up stumbling slightly. Let me go. I need to see Yoru again.
No, I ain't ever letting go of you again.
Cut it out already! When the man gets up in my face, I can't help but shut my eyes. Wait, what is actually happening here, though? Because, like, I'm concerned, but then I'm also like, okay, but he's just talking about, like, holes in the memory, right? I think this game has been translated. So that's why I'm like, I don't know if I understand the full context. What does he want with me? If he's here, then that means he knows where I live, which means I've got no place to run. My beloved precious. This goes on any longer, I might as well. Dem fun noodle? Marzipan. I open my eyes at the sound of the elderly man's death throes. What's with this old man and filling holes? If you're that lonely, then go fill your holes with pudding cups or something. Whoa! Lo came to save us. I'm still confused, though. I'm okay. Before my eyes is the elderly man, bleeding from the head, and Lo holding a bat of some sort. It hasn't even been a week, so I easily recall her name. I'm honestly glad that I still remember. Oh, it's Lo, remember? I do remember. That's your nickname, right? And you live in the bedroom above mine? Forgotten her real name, but I guess that's no big deal. Oh, right. I wanted to say thanks. I failed to thank her properly, but I'm used to being a failure. In any case, the most important thing is that I'm free from the elderly man now. Are you okay? He didn't, like, hurt you or anything, did he? I'm A-okay. I try to show her just how energetic I am, but it comes out awkwardly. Lo giggles. Well, I guess that wasn't a complete failure then. Seeing Lo's smile cheers me up a little too. Good. Well, be careful of perverts, okay? Oh, don't worry. I'll do something about him. Ugh, he stinks. Like, wait, but what is his deal? Because he seems to be talking about memories a lot, but then he also talks about his wife, so was it something with that? And it was, like, a lot more gross than what I was thinking it was? Because like I said, he was talking about holes in the memory, and then he was potentially talking about something much, like, darker. And, like, it stinks. Okay, thank you so much. No problem. You and Yoru come to visit anytime, okay? Lo goes down the stairs, dragging the elderly man behind her. The man leaves behind a trail of blood. I'll come by when I've got the chance. I murmur a small reply. This house resembles Pacifist's house, but it's even bigger and somehow a little intimidating. I know the price of land is cheap here since it's a rural town, but you'd think you'd still have to be pretty rich to have a house like this. This house is where Yoru works now. It apparently belongs to an elderly woman named Margaret. Obviously, I don't know a thing about her. I don't have the guts to ring the doorbell. I guess I should have expected that. Instead, I pick up some snow by my feet and play around with it. If I ring the bell, I figure it'll either be Yoru who will answer it, or someone else who can fetch her for me. I want to see Yoru and apologize to her. I want to tell her that I don't regret letting her live with me at all. Yeah. But that's just self-serving. I'd only be doing that to make me feel better about myself. So what should I change about my approach? Maybe if I tell Yoru how I feel, she'll cheer up a little? Not like our relationship can get any worse. Maybe it's worth a shot. But what if it's not? What if I just make Yoru feel even worse? Now that I think about it, interpersonal relationships don't bottom out at 0. They often run into the negatives. Once the snowball is in my hands, it is as dense as it can be. I chuck it away. If that's the case, then she might snap at me and ask why I'd say something to drive her away. I'm scared. I want to go home, but I can't just leave, so I pick up some fresh snow, pack it into another snowball, and hurl that one too.
Now there's no more snow at my feet. I consider picking up dirt and making a mud ball, but that's when the door opens.
Oh, hi, Sayoko.
Oh, hi.
It's okay. I'm doing perfectly fine. No need to worry about me.
Oh, no, that's not why I came.
After some insistence, I got paid in advance, so I'm good with living expenses. That said, I don't have much in terms of living expenses since it's a live-in job.
Yoru gives an ambiguous chuckle. I know my sixth sense could use some glasses, but even I can kind of tell that her laughter is forced. No, that's not it. There's just something I wanted to talk about, and...
And just who gave you permission to talk? I'm sorry.
The elderly woman lets out a hoarse voice.
Are you distracting her? I paid good money to hire a pet sitter, so don't you try to make a fool out of me. Don't mock me.
She comes snapping at me, almost pushing Yoru to the side. So Yoru's a pet sitter. She does seem like she'd be good with animals.
I'm not paying her to talk on the clock. Are you gonna pay for her lost time? Don't mock me.
Sure enough, Yoru's holding a leash, but the pet, on the other hand... I'm sorry.
Very well, I'll let you off the hook just this once. Don't take me for a fool.
The elderly just love giving me an earful today, huh? Are all the elderly townsghosts like this? I don't have much experience handling the elderly, so all I can do is apologize and regret coming here without a plan. The elderly woman, or rather, Margaret, looks like she isn't finished talking, but Yoru cheerfully chimes in as if to interrupt her.
I'll go take Rocky for a walk now, okay?
Right, she's a professional pet sitter now. An unemployed person like me shouldn't distract her.
That's not Rocky!
Margaret shrieks hysterically. Oh my god, with like the most sick dance music in the background. Margaret, where'd you get this tune? For a second, I have no idea what's happening. Or rather, I do realize that Margaret just hit Yoru with her cane, but my brain freezes for a few seconds, processing why she just did that. Violence seems to come to her all too naturally. Margaret hit Yoru in the face with her cane as if it was the most natural thing to do in the world, but that's only half of it. The other half has got to be because of the pet I see on the other end of the leash. Both my brain and body freeze into place.
I mean, McCready? I'm sorry. No, that's Biscuit! Are you blind? Can't you tell the boys or the girls? What is your problem? Don't take me for a fool, says Margaret.
It's a brown lump of clay tied to a rope! The trendiest pets meet the clay pets. It looks... I can see clay. I can see something else in this image too. I'm sorry. Can't get over this music though.
Why can't you tell just by looking that's clearly a girl?
It's clearly a lump of clay, a genderless, inorganic lump.
Anyway, we'll be going for that walk. I won't accept any slacking off, okay? And I know, put your heart into it. The heart is key.
The word for Yoru whispering, "Let's go!" I probably would have been stuck standing here in shock of the bizarre situation. Oh, right. Wow. I follow after Yoru once she's walked several steps, dragging along Biscuit, rather the lump of clay on the string. So, about Biscuit. This is just a lump of clay. Yoru nonchalantly states the obvious. There are others like it, but Miss Margaret says she can tell them apart. There are others?
Yeah, Miss Margaret takes care of about 100 of them in total, and they all have names, but she says it's hard for her to walk them all.
100. Nowhere near 1,025, but that's still a lot of pets. But why is she naming lumps of clay and keeping them as pets?
They don't eat and they don't poop,
and they don't bark either. What a groundbreaking pet these pet clays are. Was I thinking out loud again? Yoru seems to maybe have like a sixth sense, or actually maybe... Psychic. I'm a psychic. Yoru playfully continues.
My job is to walk them all, and help Miss Margaret around the house too.
Wouldn't it be more efficient to walk them all at once?
Oh, it's the heart, apparently.
The heart?
Yeah, apparently walking them all at once is proof of being heartless, and it's a bad influence on the pet clays.
I don't get it.
I know, right? But I get money and a place to live, so I'll do my best. I'm quite good at the menial jobs like this anyway. But she hit you, like with a cane. An old lady's not strong enough to kill me. But still. She's treating you like a slave, isn't she? You should quit. Dragging around lumps of clay all day isn't proper work. I can't. I got paid plenty in advance and I already bought several things. That'd be skipping the bill. Let me take care of it. I'll thrust something sharp into her and then... I stumble over my words, then I stumble to the ground. This isn't work. All I'm capable of is terror and destruction, and that's not what Yoru needs right now. She's chosen to live in this town as one of the town ghosts, to live among us in peace with her own role to play. Thank you. I'm glad you care about me. As Yoru speaks, her face looks tired, yet lively. It makes me feel like my tiny regrets are nothing more than insignificant digits truncated several places after the decimal point, so I decide not to say anything. Yoru is independent now, so I need to be independent too. By the way, about how deep in debt are you? Despite my decision to be independent, I stubbornly ask that question. I ask because I figure if I can work for myself and save enough money, maybe I can take her back, or at the very least, get her a more decent job. It wouldn't be bad to work towards a goal like that. Yoru starts counting the money on her fingers. Beep! Yoru comes up with a figure that far exceeds my expectations. It's enough money to buy two decent cars, or one good car. What did you use that money on? Several things. I figure I might as well since I've got nowhere else to go, so... So? So I splurged a little. Oh, come on. That's right, I forgot how I'm not supposed to... how I'm not used to this girl's thoughtless optimism. Once Yoru makes a lap around town, she goes back to Margaret's house to pick up a new pet clay to walk. While I could tag around with her for another lap, I decide to go back home instead. I can't even bring myself to watch her walk away. It's just so frustrating, I can't watch. If I did, I'm sure I'd start plotting ways to physically persuade that elderly woman. I know if I had happened to change my mind before I got out to my destination, I could always choose to go to Pasva or Anya for advice. But then again, after all the work those two did to help us out, Yoru found a live-in job by herself, and I lost my reason to look for work. I don't know what sort of face I should put on when I report back to them, but I do know that I need to report to them soon. With that thought in mind, I gaze at the missile as I cross through the plaza. Clara. A familiar girl drops a cardboard box which makes a distinct plop characteristic to cardboard. She looks this way, not at me, but through me, as if looking into the past. Oops. She's afraid. Even someone as dense as me can tell that. Her name's Clara, the nun who got that impressive collection of bullet holes when I used her as my substitute. The nun who called me a poophead just before she got that impressive collection of bullet holes. Felt as if we had reached a mutual understanding for that short moment, but I don't think that's quite right. There's something I've been meaning to say. Clara desperately stammers. Paper flowers spill out of the cardboard box at her feet. Wait, she's not even officially a nun, is she? Then what exactly does she do? What's her role? What's her source of income? Ever since I started looking for work, I've been thinking those questions about everyone I run into. What is it? I decide to reply for now. Honestly, it'd make me feel a little better if she were to say something like, "It's my turn to murder you, so you best be prepared." I'm sorry. Oh, Clara. Huh? That's not what I was expecting her to say at all, so I found myself at a loss for words. I did some thinking after everything that happened, like what I did wrong to make you so mad. Clara starts talking with tears in her eyes. It's not your fault. I must have done something wrong, so I'm sorry. I have no idea what to think. I haven't even thought about thinking. It's just like I'm churning out cookie-cutter answers. I don't blame you for what you've done, so please don't worry about it. How can she be so self-sacrificial? How can her heart be so pure? Is that what she wants me to think? Don't make me smack you. But let's talk things out with words instead of violence this time. Please come visit the church. Alright, wait, I was feeling bad for Clara and now I'm extremely suspicious. We have yummy sweets. You can make friends, laugh, have fun. The ideal girl speaks of her ideals with an idyllic look on her face. Give me a break. None of that stuff is what I need. My boundless rage actually calms me down. It also gives me a sudden flash of inspiration. My thoughts freeze over and become clear, like ice free of any impurities. You're right, Clara. I'm sorry about what I did earlier. Oh. I hug Clara. Her body stiffens for the first few seconds, but she relaxes soon enough. Clara smells like sweet scented candle you'd buy at a cozy general store. For now, I wipe the snow off my hands and on the back of her coat. I'm so relieved to hear you say that. Let's be friends from now on. I act out the cookie-cutter answer she wants to hear, as if there's no Sayoko nor Clara here, as if it was just actors acting out an ideal script in the center of the plaza. I'm so happy. My love finally got through to you, right? Yes, that's right, Clara. By the way, I'm in a bit of trouble now, you see. Oh, I can help. I thank her and let her go, ending our embrace. The sweet smell fades into the distance, giving my lungs a bit of relief. You see, I place a hand on Clara's shoulder and give her the most troubled look I can muster. I peer into her pale eyes and establish firm eye contact. My role here is a pitiful person in need of help, and your role is someone who can give me that help. You understand? It's about money, you see? Money? I give her a truthful summary about the current state of affairs. I make sure to highlight how Yoru has been unfairly treated like a slave at her job, and I don't forget to mention how she's been subjected to casual violence. I firmly emphasize those 2 points. Oh, no way! Poor Yoru! So I want to help Yoru pay her debts, but it's too large of a sum for me alone. I put more force into my grip on her shoulder. I try, but I fail to cry on command. This is worth a shot, though. So help me pay for half so we can reclaim Yoru's freedom. I think I pulled it off. Huh? You're my only hope. Aw, the puppy dog eyes. I squeeze out the most pitiful voice I can muster. I need you. Keep going. You're the only one I can talk to. More. Sister. Now for the finishing touch. Let's work together. For the first time. Okay, let's do this! Too easy. I do feel sorry for her. But any time spent wondering about how she feels is time wasted. What good can come out of that anyways? Friendship? You wouldn't wonder about how the numbers you type on a spreadsheet feel. Same thing. I will try. How much money do I need to bring? Okay, first, don't be alarmed when I tell you the amount. I tell her half of the necessary amount, times 2. In other words, the full amount, reducing the amount of work I have to do to 0. It's not that I don't want to work, it's just that it feels right for Clara to pay that much. I'm sure if I told Pacifier and Anya about it. Nice, but it'd be even nicer if you doubled the amount. You're a friend I can be proud of. Yep, that's what the Pacifier and Anya in my mind are saying. Is this a malicious scam? Perhaps, but Clara must think she's reformed me and that I trust her enough to share my concerns with her, and what's the ideal response that an ideal girl should make. I'm sure you know what you must do, Clara. I understand. Also, don't tell anyone else. This is for your ears only. It's our little secret. Wouldn't it be better to get a lot of people to help? We can't. Listen, if you betray me, I might get violent again like last time. I think I feel Clara's shoulders stiffen when she hears the words, last time. She hasn't forgotten the terror. I think it's far easier to forget things like love and happiness than it is to forget terror. Terror dulls your decision-making skills, and Clara's already dull as it is, which I guess is why I'm able to handle her so easily. But I don't have that much money. We really should get more people to help. Don't say a word to anyone. I shoot a piercing glaze through Clara's big, bewildered eyes. But I've never even seen that much money. Oh. Clara? No, it's nothing. That money is off limits. Ooh. I hug Clara tight as she murmurs those words, just like Pacifier once did. Then I whisper in her ear, Say, Clara. We're friends, aren't we? We've forgiven each other. We're almost the same age. We're true friends forever, aren't we? I can't help but feel a little bad for Clara. I randomly say whatever words might make Clara happy, as if I'm trying to find a specific website on a search engine. Well, we sure are! Clara's body trembles slightly. I don't know if it's what I said or if my breast simply tickled her ear. Either way, it doesn't matter. Once this whole incident is over, let's plan out all the things we can do together. Clara starts squirming more and more in my embrace. Just think of all the things we can do. I can't wait for us to plan everything out. Together, of course. Just the two of us in my room. A sleepover. We'll be together until morning. And even so, I neither strengthen nor loosen my grasp of her, as if the embrace were completely natural. Oh, I wonder what you'll sound like if you snooze in my arms. Clara twitches, squirms, and then stops resisting. The priest has money saved up for everyone in case of an emergency. That should be enough, and I...
Go on.
Well, I'm in charge of looking at that money every once in a while. If I don't, it'll disappear like all the other stuff here, so,
Clara?
The next time I have to look at the money, I can bring it out. Thank you. I feel bad for the priest, but this is surely a good use of the money, right? God will surely forgive me, right?
I'm sure he will. I'll pray that he forgives you too.
Oh, okay.
Okay, see you later then. Let's regroup at my place once we've got the money.
Okay.
I'm getting tired, so I'm gonna go home and sleep. Good night.
Good night.
That conversation was 99% lies, but that last part was true. I really am tired. Not out of guilt or anything, I'm just tired from all this concentrating. Once I manage to get back home, I toss myself onto bed and go to sleep with my coat still on. I feel sleepier than the night I got back from the movie theater on the hill. Sleepier than the night I finally got a potential job offer from a company that informed the university. Sleepier than the morning after I dragged two friends' corpses through the snow back to town. Sleepier than the morning after I committed a massacre in the church. Wait, did I do all those things? No, that wasn't me. Must have been the things I heard from someone else that I've mistaken for my own memories. Right, that's gotta be it. Anyways, I think I'm far sleepier now than I was in any of those various events. Interesting. When the doorbell rings, the three of us packed into my room get excited.
Passive the pizza's here. It took them longer than 15 minutes, so they got to give it to us for free. Yeah, so Yuko? On it.
The two of them hide behind the bed where they can't be seen from the door. I shoot them a glance and open the door.
Here it is.
Clara's standing there with a glimmer in her eyes. They're glimmering a little too much, actually. It's not like her. I guess her body must be all riled up from the naughtiness of betraying her people. I'm pretty sure adrenaline or whatever would do that to you. There's a big travel bag by Clara's feet. Really? Wow, let's see so I can count. With difficulty, Clara picks up the heavy bag and hands it to me.
So, have we come to understand each other? Are we friends now?
I suppose you could say that, but you must be tired, so go home and get a good day's sleep.
This is your home, right? I don't have any other plans today, so,
Oh no, Clara's actually really sweet. Clara's eyes moisten slightly as if she's expecting something. Several somethings, even. Sorry, but I can't live up to those expectations. Oh, I see.
Should we go hand over the money together?
Clara looks at me with upturned eyes as she tries to read my facial expression. The elderly man, the elderly woman, Mr. Patel, and just above every other town's ghost is a little bit lonely. Even with her social position in her community, Clara's no exception. That said, I guess it'd be kind of ironic for a ghost to live a fulfilling life with lots of friends.
I think that's a good idea, but, well, we ninjas work alone, you know? Maybe next time. Good night.
Well, whatever, there's no point in pitying someone you barely know, right? Aw. For just a moment, I think about what'll happen to her standing now that she's handed over her community's money to the enemy. She might lose her position as everyone's beloved nun in training. Oh well. Think about that for just a moment, and then I shut the door. I hear cheering from behind me.
That was awesome! Rock and roll stuff right there! You totally broke her spirit! I give you 10,000 out of 100 points! That's 1,000 times more than the maximum score, Teach! It's 100 times more, you absolute poophead!
Was that okay?
That was absolute garbage move, I'd say. But it's Clara we're talking about, so... Exactly. Sorry, not sorry. Yep.
I needed to muster up a lot of courage to open up to Pacifier and Anya about this whole thing, but they accept my decision without judging me. After strengthening our bond over our shared malice towards Clara, we're in a completely celebratory mood. It's a total victory for the type of woman who loves seeing cute girls loved by everyone fall flat on their faces. Thanks, you two.
Don't mention it. All we did was watch.
It's probably been about a month. Calendars don't exist in this town. I don't know if it's because of that, but every concept of time is ambiguous in this town. We all pretty much decide things with relative terms like today, tomorrow, tomorrow's tomorrow, and tomorrow's tomorrow, and so forth, I suppose. But it seems like even in a town like this, the concepts of past and future vaguely exist. However vague time may be, it definitely took time for Clara to gather the money and for the three of us to get together like this again. And using that time to walk around inanimate pet plays isn't a good way to spend it. I'm sure that girl would be much happier to live her time freely.
Alrighty then, let's go slam that cash in the old hag's face. I've got to get back to work though. You better. I'm still waiting on those goods. I know, just give me a bit more time.
Pacifier and Anya part ways at the entrance of the apartment complex. I'm the ninja of justice who will save Yoru. On the way to Yoru's workplace, I murmur conceited one-liners to myself. I'm just that elated right now. So elated I forgot to pay attention to my surroundings.
Hey, are ninjas normally for justice or evil?
Whoa! Whoa! So distracted I forgot to even consider the fact that the town's small enough that Yoru might be nearby one of her pet clay walks and hearing me murmuring to myself.
Jeepers!
People don't say jeepers when they're surprised these days, you know.
Well, I've just got a lot on my mind considering I heard concerning news that my former roommate bamboozled a girl into embezzling an organization's funds.
Oof. She's joking. Yoru giggles before collecting herself enough to continue.
But thanks. I'm happy you went to such lengths for me.
She smiled at me. That alone is enough to make me feel like it was worth the effort. So should we go pay the money now?
Well, you see, that money's not enough anymore.
Oh my god!
Turns out I'm kind of a klutz, see? I broke some dishes, wasted some seasonings, and I killed Biscuit.
Remind me who Biscuit is again?
One of the poops. Miss Margaret demanded compensatory damages, I think, and so that's more money added to my debt.
No way! What a scumbag employer. No, that's far beyond that. She's just abusing and exploiting her. I've blown my lid on employees who require punching out during breaks, but this is on a completely different level. The only thing that you can do at a workplace like this is get as far away from it as possible. Yoru doesn't belong in that house. I'm reminded of that fact. Might seem like she has no other place to stay besides that house, but that's not the entire truth. I understand. In that case, allow me to ask a hypothetical question. What would you think if someone wanted to live with you?
I'd be happy, but I can't leave the place I'm at right now.
Why not? Without thinking, I grab Yoru by the collar and bark in her face. There's no possible way you can be happy somewhere where you're neglected, exploited, and abused.
That lady's been truly alone this whole time. She's so sad. Sure, she's incontinent, she stinks, and she makes no sense, but I think I can understand why she turned out that way.
You think you can fix that person?
No, I don't think I can fix her, but even if I can heal her, maybe I can alleviate her pain. In that sense, I don't think it's entirely meaningless for me to be there.
That doesn't solve anything. Now instead of having one unhappy person, you've got two.
There are tons of unhappy people. What difference does one more make?
That's not the point.
I don't think it's a bad idea to confront sadness rather than pretend that everything's okay. That's why I think this town is a good place.
Is that why you came to this town, Yoru? Is that your goal?
I don't have a goal. Just like you, Sayoko.
But I do.
You have a goal?
Yeah, and that goal is to live with you back in that room. We're ghosts. Hollow specters. We're so empty we often lose sight of the very fact that we are ghosts. To live with you and grumble about my cramped bed and to meet up with friends every now and again and joke like idiots. And if I'm hollow, then I'm free to fill the void with whatever the hell I want.
But you just...
I can even fill the void with downright lies if I see fit. I gently place my finger on Yoru's forehead. That's right, I just made up that goal on the spot. I also made up your name on the spot, so it's a little bit late to sweat the small stuff like that, you know? Yoru smiles awkwardly and giggles, as if she can't find a reason to argue with me there.
Looks like you finally admit it now, huh?
Yoru copies me and places her index finger on my forehead as well.
If I tell you to get down, okay? Yo, long time no see. Actually, I guess it hasn't been that long, huh? Ugh, I feel so old. My sense of time has been so vague lately. That was just a close one the other day, huh? You okay?
I need guns.
Huh?
Lots of guns.
I say that just as I slam the blood and mud-stained paper bills I stole from the usual men onto the counter. Why do I get the feeling you're using the blood money to spill more blood? Do you hate that sort of thing? Lo lets out a big sigh, but it didn't feel like a sigh of disgust at all. I love it. I'll take all your bullets too. Woohoo!
Carry all the guns my money could buy as I run towards Lady Margaret's house. My feet are so light. I think to myself as I run, something like this has happened once before, long ago, or was it more recently? In the end, I guess I've got no way to feel her without resorting to violence. To free her without resorting to violence. Some people force their will upon reality against the desires of others using power, pain, and despair. If I came across something like that, I'd probably despise them. I'd hate their guts. But I feel like I've been enduring something like that this whole time, and I hate it. I guess I am worthless, after all. Yoru herself chose to stay in a place like that, so shouldn't that be good enough for me? I noticed that I've stopped running. How long have I been standing still? I spent several seconds cursing myself for not even knowing what exactly it is I want to do. I know full well what I'm doing isn't right. I mutter those words before dashing off once again, and that's why I have to do it. I don't slow down. In fact, I speed up, but my feet are incredibly heavy. Thick curtains are drawn on the other side of the window. They probably serve to protect the inside from cold, but they also prevent me from seeing what's going on inside. But regardless, it's the optimal point of entry for a home invasion. That's the conclusion I've come to after scoping out the house for a while. This is probably the living room window. If Yoru is right, then this is where Margaret watches TV all day. I shout and shoot the glass window. Okay, I gotta finish things up in seconds or less. Cherry Moya! I break through the cracked glass and jump inside. The air is humid and contaminated by the stench of human waste and clay. Oh my god, gross. As soon as the foul odor hits my nose, I'm already yelling my next line. Get down! When I pull the trigger, all I experience is a loud sound and the force of recoil. Huh? What? But what anyone on the opposite side of the barrel experiences is a horizontal sweep of fully automatic gunfire. Oh my god, Yoru, no! Kiwi! Oh, come on! Oh my god! When I see Yoru fall down with holes blown in her guts, the first thing I feel is rage. Frustration that things didn't go as we had planned in advance, and if one boy simply didn't sing at the choir competition. Though I guess I didn't sing either. Why should I even sing out loud in front of other people? What's even the point of choir competitions? I don't get it! To vent my frustrations, I kick over the table, sending a lump of clay into the air. When it smacks Yoru in the face, she goes blah and stops moving completely. She sounds so goofy, it makes me laugh a little. If only Yoru were still around to hear herself, I'm sure she'd be laughing with me. Things go silent for a while, and then my honed senses are barely able to pick up the sound of running water. A flushing toilet, actually. You? What did you break this time? You thought I wouldn't notice, didn't you? Didn't you take me for a fool? The door to what seems to be a stairwell opens up and comes up Margaret. You? I fire at her feet. The elderly woman screams and pitifully falls flat on her face. I don't even want to think about where the bullets landed if they pierced her at all on the way through. Run away, don't just space out. She's actually showing concern for Yoru. Urging her to run. I guess she can't see Yoru's corpse from where she's fallen. You treated her so roughly and now you care? You don't understand, I was raising her with love. She's either lying to me or she's lying to herself like these senile elderly women she is. Either way, I ignore her. Everyone has their own definition of love, which is why conflicts and misfortune happen. That's what I think anyway.
She was such a kind, gentle, good girl, always by my side. The first kid I ever wanted to succeed me. I'm sure she could inherit what my generation accomplished. By sharing my hardships, she can become just like me. After saying that, the elderly woman bends backwards as far as she can to lift up her upper body and lets out an anguished groan, as if she's trying to get her voice heard by someone, but she can't bend backwards for long. I guess the pain of being shot is far too much for her to bear. How dare you speak of love when you've never even considered how she feels? I look down upon the woman, both literally and figuratively, as she groans in pain. I guess I'm getting emotional because of the extraneous thought of that if anyone else were to see my attempt of rescuing Yoru, they'd have a hard time understanding where I'm coming from. Don't you think that girl had any choice but to accept my love? The elderly woman creeps on the floor as she speaks. That girl only has me, and I only have that girl. The meaning of those words catches me off guard, and probably not in a good way. The elderly woman pulls out a gun out of her pocket. A shock runs through my body as I fall backwards. I half-consciously pull the trigger on my rifle. Every sound seems delayed as it reaches my ears, though perhaps my senses are just oddly sensitive. Around the same time as my shoulders hit the carpet, the elderly woman lets out a groan. I guess I actually hit her with that shot in the dark. I feel something soft underneath my head. First I think it's poop, or maybe it's just clay, or maybe it really is poop. Oh, gross. There are several things I want to make sure of right now, but it doesn't look like I can. That's because I'm quickly losing consciousness. I'm close to death even. That elderly woman's got some skills, huh? Guess every woman in this town is tough. Every last one of you takes me for a fool, but you know what? I've got a mind of my own. I take proper care of my pets. I even pay my taxes. I hear her shrill voice ranting and wheezing. I bet before long she's gonna die of blood loss herself, but my death's gonna be overwhelmingly quicker than hers. The voice from above must be heard. You think you can be a big shot? Big shot? Who can defy the missile's voice from above? Don't take me for a fool. You're the fool, you damn criminal. If I experienced every sort of death I can imagine, will that allow me to escape from this place? That strange thought comes to mind as soon as I think, yeah, no thanks. My consciousness fades away. You see, I've been vaguely awake for a little while, but my consciousness only starts to clearly form when I hear voices talking from far away. Voices. I know these voices. I realize that the voices belong to the scavengers, and the realization serves as a spark or as an electromotive force or something that sets my thoughts into motion. Oh, you're awake! When I get up reflexively but slowly, Yoru's there. If I tell you to get down, okay? That's why you ended up getting hit. I grumble a complaint. Oh, that's what you meant by get down? What else could I have meant? Well, oh. Yoru suddenly peers into my eyes as if she had just realized something important. What is it? I guess I'm not a good listener, huh? I let out a dry laugh, but not in a bad way or anything. I see. Well, first step to solving a problem is to acknowledge that there is a problem. Oh, you sound like a counselor, Sayoko. Hee hee hee. Thanks to Yoru, I'm able to let out a proper laugh this time. She laughs too. Honestly, I think we're acting a little lighthearted for people whose hearts just stopped. The scavengers wave and call out to us when they notice our voices. They seem a little spooked at first, but Yoru smoothly tells them we were just on a walk. She's an amazing talker. Just a terrible listener. I interrupt before an idle chatter start again. Can you give us a ride back home when you're finished with work? Sayoko. Yoru tries to interrupt, but I kept going. And by home, I mean our home. Yoru looks at me like she can't believe what I just said, a look of surprise mixed with joy. I feel a sense of desire. A desire for what exactly? Material wealth, food, attention, maybe something else. I do feel a little proud of myself, though. Of course. Yeah, I don't mind, but... The leader seems a little hesitant to continue. I really ought to learn their names already. You'll help us finish that work, right? Of course! Yes, of course we'll help. The other two cheer behind their leader. I feel like cheering with them, but it's a little embarrassing, so I cheer silently. Cute. Aww. With work safely squared away, we sit in the back of the truck as it sways to and fro. I feel pleasantly tired, so I start to doze off. Say, Sayoko. Do you think Anya still has that lemonade stand?
Since she interrupted my nap, I answer a little rudely. I guess.
Let's use that to start a business.
Selling lemonade?
Of course not, silly. Perhaps that's your imaginary little sister!
Thrusting her finger at a patient is Yoru wearing a white coat.
Okay, next!
There's a long line.
Please pay here.
I beckon the patient. Thank you, I feel so refreshed. He drops some coins into the palm of my hand. It's about enough to buy 2 cups of coffee at Mr. Patel's cafe. By the time I put the money into the register, the next patient's exam has already begun. Whenever I wake up, I hear a man crying inside a car parked outside every single day. It's driving me mad.
Perhaps that's just an imaginary man!
Is that yours thing to everything? I see!
Okay, next.
Please pay here. The payment is a flat sum. It's not expensive or anything, but considering the length of the line and the speedy service, it clearly adds up quickly, and it didn't even cost anything to start up. Despite the dirt cheap prices, not a single patient has doubted the authenticity of the medical exam. I suppose not many are brave enough to raise a complaint in the presence of the ninja who single-handedly subjugated the whole church.
Oh, how are things going, Miss Bodyguard?
Pacifa!
Who knew there would be a demand for such service? Seems like even I've been blindsided by your entrepreneurship. Well done.
It was Yoru's idea. There's no point in selling something as low demand as lemonade. You have to sell something more essential. That was Yoru's basic idea.
The townsghosts are all alone. It's like they've got nobody to turn to for counseling.
So you think you can make money off that? Will anyone pay?
I do, and they will. That's the feeling I got as I interacted with that old lady.
I summarized that conversation to Pacifa.
But Sayoko, won't listening to everyone's concerns make for a stressful job for her?
Nope, there's no need to worry about that.
Oh, that's a cut and dried answer. I guess I can appreciate her tenacity at least.
No, it's not that she's tenacious or anything. I smile somewhat meanly. It's that she doesn't listen to others in the first place. Oh, cute. And that's the end of the chapter. We're becoming a little less lonely with each of the chapters that pass by. I really like it. Our cute little Sayoko. I think people are going to start warming up to her as well. I know that they tend to be a little less friendly, but we had Lo this chapter, our like amazing cosplay shopkeeper who was really fun to voice for me. And I think she really likes Sayoko, and I think Sayoko likes her, at the very least from like a friendly standpoint. So I'm excited to see where the next chapters go. It was kind of cool to see the relationships continue to manifest in this. I kind of knew Sayoko would get a little lonely. I mean, she was already lonely. It seems like fate. It seems like, I actually do think that Yoru is a psychic in this. Are we going to get another cutscene? That kid and I talk about various things as we pedal our bikes. We have to shout in order to hear ourselves over the clamorous cars and screeching cicadas. She talks about minor scandals between classmates, popular celebrities, clothes she wants, and other things like that. Topics that don't really feel relevant to me. It's like we live in two different worlds, huh? She's popular, even with the boys. During break time, she talks so loudly with friends. It's almost like it's a competition or something. Well, nobody ever steps up to anyone in her group. Her voice in particular is especially influential. It's almost like any kid who opposes her gets immediately crushed by her followers. At school, she's like the mafia boss straight out of a movie. I don't like her, and it's not just because of how cute she looks. And yet she invited me to go to the movies with her. But she's the same kid I've been with ever since kindergarten. The same kid who was so happy we were put in the same class when we moved up to elementary school. We used to get along since we were so alike, but before I knew it, our speech patterns and our social standings in class got completely diverged. One day, we were on cleaning duty together. We just so happened to get thirsty at the same time and went back into the classroom for bottled water. That's when she invited me to go to the movies with her. Just you and me, I asked? Yes, she nodded. That's why I'm riding my bike right now. I somehow managed to keep up with her in my cute new sundress and sandals. Not as refined as that kid, but I'm passable, I'd say.
I know it sounds like I'm not enjoying myself at all, but I really am. It's too hot outside. My favorite season is winter, which is on the exact opposite side of the calendar. But right now I feel like there are good things to be enjoyed, even in the middle of summer. The signal turns red at the last second, so I slam on the brakes. This is probably the last time the two of us can hang out. I'm sad, but I suppose it's only natural since we've grown to be too different from each other. A big truck passes in front of us, spreading its smelly exhaust fumes. Normally I'd grimace at the smell, but today I'll just deal with it. I don't want to bother her, so I won't draw this picture in my diary. I won't draw this in my picture diary. I'll keep this secret until the day I die. No, even longer than that. I wonder if that kid thinks that this will be our last time together too. Maybe that's why I feel like I have to enjoy myself. You see, as I stare at the signal, waiting for it to turn green, she speaks up somewhat quietly. Yes? My voice is quiet to begin with, so I don't know if she heard. It looks like I'm going to the movies with Hasegawa next week. That's amazing. It's not really that amazing. She blushes. Hasegawa, he's an athlete and a sort of leader among the boys. I think he's the right fit for going to the movies with her. So is today like a practice run for that, date? She opens up her big eyes even wider. She probably wasn't expecting me to say that. She lets out a spontaneous giggle. Maybe I said something that I shouldn't have. If I had said that in the classroom, my school life would be in jeopardy starting the next day. But she smiles as if to tell me that there's no need to worry about anything like that right now. Dunno. I see. The signal turns green. I start pedaling. I hope it goes well for you. I give her some lazy words of encouragement. You really think so? Not really. You know, you've always had a habit of saying things you don't really mean. It's probably the last time we'll hang out together. Nothing will change that fact, but I already think, so what? Interesting. I think we're getting peeks into the real life. Whoa, even more? Oh, hello, Father. I can't remember the last time you were the one who called me. How can I help you? We need to talk business. What, do you have a complaint about my business this late in the game? No, I want you to deal with that ninja. Now? I thought you would have given up by now. That's none of your business. Well, I suppose your men are useless after all. Indeed, that's why I need your help. No! Well, yes, it would be indeed child's play for me. That is, I just have about everything I need already. Since I've allowed you to do whatever you pleased up until now, I assumed you'd agree to my request without a moment of hesitation. No, don't do this! Very well, but in return... I know. Pacifa, no. It was Pacifa's silhouette. No, I liked her. I liked everybody. Is she gonna be a double agent? A triple agent? You know? I hope. Aw, okay. And our next chapter is going to be the day I was lonely together with her. We have a redhead that doesn't quite look like Anya. So I suppose we'll see who this is in the next episode. I hope you guys are enjoying this. If you are, be sure to leave a like down in the video and let me know down in the comments. But I think on that note, I'm going to leave this here and say farewell, friends. Thank you so much for being here. Remember, we're not alone out there, and I will see you guys in the next episode of Ghostpia Season 1. Bye-bye. You know, I should have seen the Pacifa thing coming. I just wanted to believe that she was really good. But I kept questioning because she seemed to be like somewhat friendly with the church.